Hey everybody, welcome back to the homestead. Well, we're out in the greenhouse today. It's not too bad in here. It's actually almost 70 degrees, but outside it is a cold and nasty day. And tonight we're actually under a freeze warning. Hopefully that will be our last one for the season, but you never know. Around here, we don't plant anything really outside, sensitive things, until at least the second week of May, just to be safe, because weather around here is very, very weird. Anyway, here in the greenhouse, we're not freezing, and it's very nice. So we thought we'd come to you today to do another video where we answer questions that you guys have asked us that sometimes we don't just get to in our normal videos.
Now on our homestead, we actually don't do live stream videoing because, well, our internet is terrible and it just doesn't allow us to do that. So instead of that, we're using this format, like Kevin said, to answer some of your questions and really a lot of the repeat questions that we get over and over. It's been a while since we've done one of those, so we thought it would be a good time for us to do it with a beautiful background of our wonderful raised bed in the greenhouse. Yeah,
look how great everything is doing back there. This greenhouse has been such a blessing to us. And we're excited really to have this more in the fall and over next winter, but it's really been awesome. We had the best homemade dinner of roasted radishes last night.
Well, we had more than that.
Well, yeah, but roasted radishes, that's mainly what I ate because, man, they are so good.
It was really good.
If you've never had roasted radishes, even if you don't like raw radishes, roasted radishes are so much different. They're almost sweet, and they're just, oh, they're so good.
And really all you need to do is cut them up, toss them with some olive oil, sprinkle on some salt and pepper, and I like to put on some garlic powder, roast them in the oven at 400, 425 for maybe 20 minutes until they're soft. They're so good, you guys. You need to try them.
But we're not here to talk about roasted radishes today. We're here to answer some of your questions and to share with you some exciting news.
Yeah.
So the first question is one that we've gotten several times in the last just couple days.
Yep, and that is, hey, was that you guys? I saw an article in the most recent issue of the New Pioneer magazine, and yes, it is us. Now, inside here, there's actually a really wonderful 4-page article about us and our family and our homestead and being YouTubers, homestead YouTubers. And so we're really excited about it. We've been keeping it kind of on the down low since they came out to interview us.
Which was actually like almost a year ago.
Yeah. We had no idea what issue it would be coming out in, so we didn't really tell many people. So now that it's out, you guys, we're so excited to share it with you. It's the summer edition of the New Pioneer. It just came out in stores around here, but it's not all over the country yet.
No, my mom tried to look for it in the store in Phoenix and couldn't find it, so this is the one you're looking for. And we're excited. We hope you guys will go pick up a copy and read the article written about it.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And then the other question that a lot of people have been asking just recently is, how are we doing with all of this stay-at-home stuff? How has it changed our life? Well, the truth is, as far as Sarah and I go, it hasn't changed things a whole lot because we mostly stay at home anyway.
Right.
We don't really, we don't ever go on vacation or trips or things like that. We don't even go to town very often unless we absolutely have to. So this hasn't been a huge change for us. The biggest change has been with our kids.
Yeah, the kids have been home with us for a while now here in Missouri. Now the schools are all closed for the rest of the school year. Our school district is still doing some online learning things with the kids. So yeah, that has been the biggest change. Our family in general, we are prepared kind of people, if you want to say that. So, the fact that we haven't gone to the store in 6 weeks isn't really that big of a deal for us. We generally have what we need at a month at a time, if not more. So it's been just kind of business as usual here for us. We are very, very blessed to be able to work from home. So that part of people's lives out there, that hasn't affected us because we work here on the homestead and bring you all videos. And so we're very, very blessed.
Right. In fact, today was the first time we have been in a store since the very beginning of March, because you guys were leaving comments asking if we had seen that we were in that magazine, and we didn't have a copy of it, so we ran into the store to pick it up, and sure enough, there we were, right in that magazine.
Absolutely.
So that was exciting, but other than that, things around the homestead have actually been fairly normal for us.
It's been exciting to have so much new interest in homesteading and raising your own food, gardening, raising animals for meat. So it's been a really exciting time for us to be putting out videos and teaching, which we absolutely love to do.
Right. And we hope that this video will actually help some of you who are new to our channel to get to know us a little bit better, and to catch you up on some of the things that have been going on here on our farm or our homestead, so that you can get caught up to speed.
Well, we've been getting a lot of different kinds of questions about our milk cow. Her name is Hope. We got our milk cow at the end of last summer. She was already in milk, and at that time she had had a calf in January. So not this past January, but the January before. And when we got her, we were told that she was bred and should be having a calf in, 4 months or so. Come to find out, she was not bred, and she had a cyst on her ovary, which was preventing her from getting pregnant at the farm that we got her from.
Right. So we actually had to take her to the vet. They gave her some shots that helped, get that cyst to go away. It got her back into her normal cycle. And then last fall, we actually had artificial insemination done on her. The first time around, it didn't take. She didn't get pregnant. We had it redone, I think, in December.
Yeah.
And the second time around, she got pregnant. So we were super excited about that. And everything seemed to be going well until just a couple weeks ago.
Well, a couple weeks ago, she was making a ton of noise, similar to what she would do when she was in heat. And there were some behavior changes that we were a little bit afraid of. So all of a sudden, we thought, oh my gosh, what if she lost her baby? What if something happened? Because we had taken her to the vet to have her hooves trimmed, her feet trimmed. And so we were wondering, oh no, was that too traumatic? And it, made her lose the baby. So we did the blood test all over again, and that was one of the worst times to be waiting.
Just about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, worst times to be waiting for that test result to come back, but we're very pleased to announce she's still pregnant.
Right. Yep. I think the behavior changes that we were seeing was more because we had moved the goats out of her pen, and I think she was really missing the goats. Mm-hmm. But for a lot of reasons, we had to do that. We had to make that decision, and so she's gotten over that now. She's acting perfectly normal again, and we're really happy. And she should be having a calf later this summer, around September. September
15th, yeah, and that's one of the questions that we've been getting lately is, how is she doing in her pregnancy, and when is she due? So September 15th, I believe, is when she's officially due. We've also had the question, are we going to dry her up before she has her calf? And now drying up really means making her stop produce milk before her calf comes. And you really do want your dairy animals to be dried up for at least a couple months before they have their new babies. It just allows all the nutrients from their feed and their hay to go into making a baby rather than into producing milk. So we will be drying her up. We're going to start that process probably sometime in May. I'd like for that process to be a little bit more on the gradual side rather than just, cold turkey. And it will also allow us to continue getting milk a little bit farther into the summer.
Right. Yeah, so we're hoping that maybe by the middle of June or so, maybe beginning of July, she'll be completely dried up. And then she'll have a month or 6 weeks or so to be completely dry before her calf comes. But yeah, I think that'll be the best for her health. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously after she has the calf, she'll start producing milk again. And, when the calf is a little bit older, we'll start milking her once again.
In the meantime, we have been preparing to be without her dairy products. I've been freezing milk. We've been making a lot of cheese and freezing it, making a lot of butter and freezing it. So hopefully we can get through that gap without having to buy dairy products from the store.
Now, the next question that we've been getting a lot, or specifically I've been getting a lot recently, is about our quail. We just haven't showed them in many videos. I haven't been talking about them much. And the truth about the quail is we do still have them. I am still raising some. I have a good group of breeders, but I haven't been hatching many out. We're using their eggs. We collect their eggs every day, and we use those, you know, just as regular eggs. But I haven't been hatching many, and that's because I've really been waiting to find a way to raise them a little more naturally, a little more, you know, so they have more of a natural environment instead of being up off the ground in cages. So I've been brainstorming all winter. I didn't really want to do anything over the winter when it was so cold, but I think I have a plan thought up, and you guys may see that coming up in the next couple months. But I'm going to start building something that will give them a way to live on the ground, but still keep them safe from predators. And so that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to tell you, though, that this has been something that I've really struggled with. And so I do still have them. They're doing well, but we need to come up with a little bit better way of doing them so that I feel a little bit better about the way we're raising them. So stay tuned. I'll show you guys what we have up our sleeves coming up sometime soon.
So the next question has to do with not giving up. Someone asked us, when things are not going well at all, and
which happens often,
when we just don't want to do this anymore, what keeps us from just giving up and not doing any of it?
Well, there are a lot of times when things on the homestead get stressful. You know, we're self-employed. We work together all day, every day. And, you know, sometimes, believe it or not, there are times we don't get along perfectly. The stress of just keeping everything under control just builds up. And so there's definitely times when we feel the way that this person was thinking. Maybe they were feeling that way when they asked the question. And the truth is, there's a lot of reasons that we keep going. There's a lot of things that keep us motivated. But I think the most important one is we just absolutely do not want to go back to the city life. We love the life that we're living out here, and we just do not want to go back to the life that we had in the city for any reason at all. We just absolutely love what we're doing.
Also, we don't want to prove anybody right who thought we couldn't do this. There were a lot of people who thought we were crazy for wanting to do this. There were a lot of people who thought that there's no way that we could go from living in the city to living in the country. And there were people who thought we couldn't make it financially and that we were making a terrible, terrible decision by leaving our corporate jobs to move out to the middle of the country and try to be as sustainable as we can.
Right. Yeah. So we absolutely, those people, we don't want to let them think that they were right, because they weren't, and we will make it. And even when things get tough, you know, tomorrow's a new day.
Absolutely.
And then the third thing that keeps us going really is you guys. And I don't mean to sound like I'm pandering. I don't mean to sound like, you know, we're saying this just to say it, but it really is true. We have made a commitment to you guys, and we know that you guys enjoy seeing our videos. We enjoy showing you what we do. We enjoy teaching you things that we learn, showing you the mistakes that we make, and we really do believe that more and more people should be living this kind of life. And we hope that in some way we're inspiring at least some of you to be more self-sufficient as well.
So those are some of the things that keep us going. We truly feel that this life and this lifestyle is absolutely worth it, and that's why we keep doing this every single day. The next thing we're going to talk about really is an update of our rabbits. We've been getting a lot of questions, different things about our rabbits, and we really haven't talked about them much lately. About a year ago, we significantly downsized our herd of rabbits. I think at one point we had 15 females and 3 males, all for breeding. We had gone through a time where we had done a lot of breeding and raising up meat rabbits to sell at our local farmers market. Since then, we've decided to only raise rabbit meat for our family.
There was 1 year after we moved here to the Ozarks and started selling at our local farmers market that it seemed like no matter how many butchered rabbits we took to the market, we could sell as much rabbit meat as we could possibly take. And then the following year, we increased the number of does that we had because we figured, hey, you know, it seems like it was a good idea to breed more and take more to the market. And then that following year, there was like no interest in rabbit meat at all. So not only did we not sell very much that year at the market, but we had bred a lot of them. So we actually filled one of our freezers with a ton of rabbit, some of which we're still eating to this day. So at that point, we just realized that it probably wasn't a great way for us to make money selling rabbit meat. So we downsized our rabbits back to kind of the original number that we had, which really was enough just to provide meat for our family. And, you know, we still sell to a few neighbors here and there as they want something, but it's not something that we're really going overboard with. But we're selling here and there, and then, you know, raising everything that we need for our family.
However, things have changed a little bit. Just recently, our youngest daughter, Samantha, has become interested in raising rabbits to sell as breeders or pets or whatever. So in the near future, we may be scaling up again a little bit so that we can do more for her. So we'll see where that goes.
Right. And we've actually been raising now the Silver Fox Heritage breed rabbits for the last couple of years. But Samantha's actually interested in raising New Zealand's, which is what we used to raise, which are more of a standard meat breed of rabbit. So she's actually going to be acquiring some breeding stock, and she's going to start her own little breeding operation, probably with a couple does, and she'll have things to sell. So that's exciting. We're excited to kind of pass that on to her and have a way for her to make some money here on the homestead as well. So we're excited and we're happy that she's showing an interest in that.
Another question that we've been getting about rabbits has to do with collecting their manure. When we are doing a lot of our gardening, we use rabbit manure as fertilizer. But the question that we've been getting is, now that we raise our rabbits on the grass and rabbit tractors, how do we collect their manure to use for our gardening? Normally, when you raise rabbits up in cages, you know, their manure just goes down to the ground and you shovel it up and put it in a pile and use it for your gardening. But when they're in a rabbit tractor, you move them every day or every few days, and then their manure kind of gets equally distributed around the yard in the grass. So how do we collect that? Now, typically, rabbits will go to the bathroom in the same corner all the time. So every day, there will be a nice little pile of rabbit manure in one spot. When you move them, that pile is exposed and you can easily just rake them into a bucket or into a shovel and then put them in your pile that way. So that is also an easy way to collect rabbit manure for your garden.
Right. And actually over the winter, when there's not a lot of grass and things for them to eat anyway, we only move the tractors about every third day, which gives it time for a little more of the manure to pile up in the one spot before we move them, and it just makes it a little easier to collect, or a little more worth our time to collect.
Right.
And that way we collect it all winter and we have it for the spring. Now, we will tell you that what we used to do is we would put our rabbits up in cages off the ground just during breeding season. We would put our breeders up, and that way we'd be able to collect the manure under the cages during that time.
Right.
It would also give them a little more safe area to have their babies. And then once the babies were old enough to be weaned, we'd move them down to the tractors. We'd raise them in tractors. And during the times of year when like in the hottest part of the summer, we can't breed.
Right.
So we would also move our breeders back to the tractors during that time. So they weren't up off the ground all year round. And actually moving forward, we're probably going to go back to that system. We think that that works out really well. It gives an easy way to collect manure when we need to. It gives the babies a safe place to be born, where we can protect them a little better than down in the tractors. So that system just works better overall, and we're going to be moving back to that. You guys will see that coming up in future videos.
Right. Well, recently we've had a lot of new subscribers, and we're so thankful. Welcome to all of you. We appreciate you. So if you guys have questions that you don't know the answers to, make sure that you put them in the comment section below here. We do a Q&A video like this every, month or so, and we'll make sure to get to some of those questions in a video coming up soon.
Right. We hope it just gives you some answers to questions you've been wondering about that maybe just don't get automatically answered in videos. Hey, speaking of that, if you guys are enjoying our videos, we sure hope that you will hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. And remember that the absolute best way that you can help us here on the homestead is by sharing our videos with all of the people that you think would enjoy it on your social media. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead today. Take care, and God bless.
God bless.